So Disney World's rides and fireworks are a blast. Yes, that was pun intended. But what details truly make Disney World stand out from all the other theme parks across the globe? Find out the best things about Disney World today so you can look forward to them for all your trips. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. It's time to do a super positive video. There's a reason why families choose to vacation at Disney World all the time. Actually, there are lots of reasons. While Disney World is far from being a perfect place, it can create some pretty great memories for you and your fam. From Imagineering details to the awesome cast members to the random activities you might wind up enjoying even more than the rides and the water parks and all of that stuff. So today I've come up with some specific reasons why Disney World continues to put itself on the map for travelers all around the globe, because you know what? The world is too negative right now. This way, you'll not only know what you should look forward to during your next trip, but you might also stumble upon something fresh and new that you want to add to your Disney Parks itinerary. That's the goal, at least. Speaking of, if you don't have an itinerary started up yet, that's okay. Go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen, and we'll send you our free Disney World planning worksheets. They're going to help you keep all organized when you do start chiseling out the details of your upcoming trip. You can also head over to disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyPlans to get your park planning companion instead. So some of the things in this video are memories, some of them are fun little interesting parts of the park, some of them are activities and attractions that you might not have known about but that are really, really worth checking out. So we're going everywhere here. It could be anything, and case in point, we're heading to the mysterious German train town first. As you're making your way around Epcot's World Showcase, take some extra time in the Germany Pavilion to appreciate an often overlooked gem of this park. Meet the Germany Train Village. This mini village has quite the background that most people don't even know about. When Epcot opened back in 1982, the seasonal festivals weren't something that happened yet, and the first time we saw the International Flower and Garden Festival was in 1993. During the early years of Flower and Garden, starting in 1995, our little garden railway friend here was built next to Germany, and each year, specifically for Flower and Garden, the train town returned. However, because this tiny village became so popular with guests, it was eventually transformed into the year-round exhibit we know today. Now, the display features LGB locomotives, which are model trains from a German company called Lehmann Grossbahn, but it's not just the real working miniature trains we love to look at here. It's the whole teeny tiny village package deal. Something's always going on. In this little village, you'll see a whole community living out their lives and celebrating the different Epcot festivals with each new season. See the little banners around town? The attention to detail is amazing. And let's not ignore the fact that the tiny chaos of this town cracks us up every time we visit and leaves us with a whole lot of questions like, why is this lady sitting on the sidewalk using her binoculars? Is she bird watching? Is she looking for aliens? What is going on? And what did that one mad scientist guy do to blow the rooftop off his little workstation? And did we just witness a murder mystery in the making over here in these bushes? Not really. The figures can topple over every now and then, but that doesn't keep our imaginations from running wild with our own unraveling backstories for the people of this town. You gotta make your own fun sometimes, y'all. Now, recently, another wild addition was reintroduced to the Germany Train Village, but you can only see it in action while you're playing the Germany mission of the DuckTales World Showcase Adventure game located on the free Play Disney Parks app. So during this mission, you'll have to activate a certain button over in the Germany Train Village to progress the storyline. And I don't want to give anything away, but activating that button does make this little town 10 times more mysterious and kind of unsettling in the best possible way. Now, a day in Disney World isn't a day free from tragedy. Your kid might drop their Mickey Premium Bar before getting the chance to bite off one of the ears. The bubble one you just purchased from one of the side carts might suddenly stop working just minutes after you purchase it. Your toddler might accidentally get a frozen balloon and just let it go as soon as you hand your money over to the cast member. The pun is funny. The situation is not funny. I can definitely remember my poor little kid. He was probably 3 and he got a churro and like a milkshake or something, some sort of ice cream situation, dropped them both on the ground, lost his mind. But whatever the situation may be, Disney is usually pretty gracious when it comes to replacing stuff like this. Different circumstances call for different responses, but for the most part, a cast member will be able to hook you up with a replacement snack or souvenir free of charge just to help you not have to deal with the waterworks from your kid that follows shortly after tragedy strikes. So if your kid drops something, or if you drop something, or if something breaks right after you buy it, go ahead back, show your receipt, and they'll probably give you another one. Now, even though the pavilions around Epcot's World Showcase are only a sliver of what each country actually has to offer, those pavilions have been created to look and feel as authentic as possible, and the cast members contribute to that too. The Disney Cultural Representative Program hires folks from around the world to work in the Epcot World Showcase pavilions, and the cast members work in the pavilion that represents their home country. There's also a cultural exchange program for overseas students too, to give college students a chance to work in these different pavilions over the summer. It's really cool to be able to talk to the cast members around Epcot and get a new understanding of how folks live in other countries. For example, a couple of World Showcase cast members gave us some fun cultural facts the other day. A UK cast member told us how the UK isn't actually one country, but 4 different countries, including England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. And a Canada cast member reminded us that it's not always chilly up north, though that may seem like the case, since it can also get rather toasty during the summer season, just like pretty much anywhere in the US. So those are some really good tips for your kids, maybe for a little bit of edutainment, right? Now, cast members hired outside the USA and inside the USA too tend to go above and beyond to make your Disney Day extra special. So if there's a particular cast member you have the pleasure of meeting who goes the extra mile to make a magical moment for you and your family, make sure to give them a shout out on the Cast Compliment feature in the My Disney Experience app. This helps Disney recognize these cast members for all their hard work. In order to use the Cast Compliment feature, tap on the 3 lines at the bottom right of the home screen of the app and scroll down to Cast Compliment. It's close to the bottom of the menu. Then you just select why you're complimenting the cast member, and you'll insert the CM's location, name, hometown if you know it, and the date of the interaction. And that's it. So don't forget to submit all the compliments that you can so cast members can know their efforts are well appreciated. They do get recognized for those cast compliments. They don't just go into some weird databank somewhere. After a long day in the parks or even a relaxing day just chilling around your resort, there's nothing quite like getting all comfy cozy around one of the Disney Hotel campfires and settling in for the night. Each of the Disney resorts have complimentary nightly campfires, weather permitting, that you and your family can pull up a seat next to and just unwind. You can also roast marshmallows around these campfires for free, or you can upgrade your marshmallow roasting experience into a s'mores masterpiece for just a few dollars extra. One of our favorite campfire sites to hit up toward the end of the day is over at Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground, because that's where you're going to find the Chip 'n Dale Campfire Sing-Along taking place each night between 7:30 and 10 p.m. This is amazing because it's absolutely free. It's one of the only free ways to see a guaranteed Disney character or characters in Walt Disney World. You can just show up here at the resort and go to the campfire, and you don't have to pay a cent, and you get to meet Chip 'n Dale. But whatever campfire you choose, be sure to stick around for the movie Under the Stars that happens each evening at every resort too. That's when the Disney hotels will play a Disney film either out on the lawn or over by the pool for everyone to enjoy. And like I said, the best part about these things is that they are free for anyone to do, literally anyone. Even if you're not staying at the resort itself, you're still more than welcome to take a boat over to Fort Wilderness and hang out with Chip 'n Dale, take a bus to Coronado Springs to watch Princess and the Frog on their jumbo screen outside the lobby. The only exception to this is if the resort you're visiting has their movie playing over at the main pool area, because non-resort guests cannot hop into the pools. But other than that, the nighttime activities are free for you to experience with the whole fam, no matter where you're staying. Now let's talk about epic shops. If I'm not careful, this video is going to turn into a best things about Epcot video. But look, there's just a lot to love about this particular park, okay? It's one of my favorites and you all know it. And that includes this super unique gift shops around the World Showcase. Even if you're not planning on spending a whole lot or any of your souvenir money inside Epcot, the gift shops here are more than just places to buy all the same stuff at all the same parks. These are full-blown cultural experiences that I've treated more like museums than stores countless times before, though it's hard not to walk out of one of them with at least something. The Mitsukoshi department store, for example, in the Japan Pavilion, is an extension of the massive Mitsukoshi department store in actual Japan. I've been in the one in Japan. It's incredible. This one's incredible too. This sells anime and manga and other kawaii pop culture items and a bunch of other incredible, authentic Japanese items. So if you're a big fan of characters from Pokemon or Kingdom Hearts or Hello Kitty, then this store might suck you into its clutches and never let go. Along with the fandom merch though, Mitsukoshi sells authentic Japanese items like kimonos and Zen gardens, Buddha boards, and various fun snacks like Pocky, Haichu, Hello Panda, so many other goodies to stock up on. Lots of sake as well. This is one of my favorite places to spend an hour or so in Epcot because I always get so many good gifts for people here. When you go to Disney World, it's not like everyone on your Christmas list or whatever wants a plush Mickey, right? This is a place to find really unique gifts for everybody that you need to buy for. It's awesome. Now, another expansive gift shop in Epcot's World Showcase is the House of Good Fortune over in the China Pavilion. It's absolutely massive. The House of Good Fortune has some of the most eclectic and affordable souvenirs on property, including Chinese medicine balls, incense trays, hidden box figures, bamboo plants, super unique chip flavors. Now, I know we've talked about that before, but those chips rotate out frequently. It's one of our favorite things to do with our DFB reporters is go find out what the chips are for that particular day. But in the past, we've tried chestnut and peach beer and bayberry, which is a fruit commonly grown in China that has a sweet and tart flavor to it. And one of my favorite stories about shopping in the House of Good Fortune is that one time when I was in my 20s, it was like a million years ago, right? I bought a Chinese style blazer. And at the time I was working in New York City and I was going to this fancy lunch, and I think it's the Four Seasons or the Waldorf or the Ritz-Carlton. I don't even remember. It was one of those fancy hotels. And I was going to this lunch and I was wearing this blazer that I bought. And I got asked all the time by people, where did I get it? And I was like, in Disney World, which sounded so funny at the time, but you can find really, really good stuff at these shops. Now, I could keep going because all the different shops around the World Showcase have something different to offer that might appeal to you even more than the ones I just named. But the important thing to take away from this point is that the shops around Epcot are part of the overall experience for each pavilion. So don't skip them, thinking that they're going to have the same carbon copy Disney merch that you've seen at the last dozen Disney gift stores you've been in. Because these World Showcase shops are very unique. They have some hidden gems tucked away inside it. It's worth taking some time to look. But just budget some souvenir money beforehand just in case you find something that begs you to take it home, because you probably will. Now, I hope you knew that this was going to be in this video. The Skyliner. This is one of the best things to come to Disney World, basically ever. And yeah, I realized that 2019 was the same year that Galaxy's Edge also opened in Hollywood Studios, but I think the Skyliner's better. Don't you? Don't we? Come on. Now, the Skyliner is a system of flying gondolas that transport Disney hotel guests, or any guests, directly to Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios, as well as a bunch of hotels: Pop Century, Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, and Riviera. To start off, let me just say the Skyliner improved these resorts times a million, especially Caribbean Beach, which was never a moderate resort that I really had on my radar, but with the Skyliner hub being right there at the resort, it does make a beachy stay at Caribbean all the more appealing. Just make sure that if you do book a room at Caribbean Beach for easy Skyliner access, you request a room close to the main Skyliner station. Otherwise, you might get a room way far away from the station, defeating the purpose of that convenience, or you can also request a room that's close to the Riviera Resort Skyliner station. But I digress. Back to the Skyliner. While it's convenient and can help you get from park to resort or park to park or resort to resort in only a matter of minutes, it's also very fun. It's not every day you get to ride in a sky gondola unless you're living like in a ski resort. And with the Skyliner, you'll get aerial views across certain sections of Disney property that you wouldn't have gotten the chance to see otherwise. Even if you're not a Skyliner resort guest, the Skyliner's still free for you to use too. You may want to take advantage of it during your Epcot and Hollywood Studios days for a little escape from the park crowds. And you might even find that your kids enjoy a ride aboard the Skyliner just as much or even more than the rides in the parks. Even though lines for the Skyliner can get lengthy at the beginning of the day and at the end of the night, the lines do tend to move pretty quickly since the Skyliner is constantly running like an Omnimover ride, aside from a few quick stops that they might have to make to help accommodate guests who need extra time boarding. But the Skyliners aren't going to be the best part about Disney World for everyone. If you or someone in your group gets skittish when it comes to heights, then it may not be the best way to travel, and you might even want to avoid the Skyliner system since it's going to put you way up high and take you over rooftops and highways and parking lots, but it's probably best to avoid staying at a Skyliner resort since that's going to be your key transportation that you'll use to get to Epcot and Hollywood Studios and back again. They do run buses, but rarely. Also, keep in mind that the Skyliner won't be operational when the weather is acting up. If this happens, you won't be stranded in the parks by any means, but you will be redirected over to buses, which will then take you back to your hotel, just in a much less fun way. And it'll take longer. Now, this next thing is something I absolutely love about Disney World. I've benefited from it many, many times, and I want to talk about it as much as I can. And that is the lost and found here. Now, Disney World is a very big place, and the important stuff you carry around with you, like your wallet, your phone, your purse, is very small in the grand scheme of things. So when you lose something important like that in Disney World, it can feel like there's no hope of ever getting it back. But there is. If you lose something at Disney and you've already retraced your steps to try and find it, you can either head over to guest relations or head to chargerback.com on your phone or on someone else's phone. Either way, you'll be asked to fill out a form, describe your lost item, where you last had it, your contact info, etc. After you've completed the form, you'll automatically be connected to the Disney team's rescue mission, and they'll send you updates about the status of your lost item. After 48 hours or sooner, you'll receive a response as to whether or not your item has been found, hopefully yes. But here's one of the greatest parts about this. Even if a cast member finds your lost item after you've already had to hightail it on back home, Disney's gonna send your item back to you via mail, free of charge. Doesn't matter how big it is. Hooray! It's absolutely incredible to get that box, believe me, because there was one day when I was staying at a Disney hotel and there was weather in both Orlando and Dallas, and I knew that I was never going to get out of there if I didn't go early, so I ended up booking like a 5 a.m. flight, had to leave for the airport at 3 a.m., and I forgot a whole bunch of my clothes in the closet of the hotel. I didn't even remember that I forgot my clothes until about a month and a half later. And I messaged them at chargerback.com and I went through the whole process and I was like, there's no way. They had them, y'all. They still had them. And they sent them back to me all in one big box. And it was magical because a lot of that stuff is things that I couldn't replace. So I was very, very happy to get it back. And I couldn't believe that they still had it and they sent it back to me free of charge. It was amazing. All right, next up, wishes really do come true. So people throw away hundreds of dollars inside Disney each and every day. And note, that's not a jab at anybody. It's actually a compliment because what Disney does with this tossed away money is really, really cool. The coins that guests throw into the waters on rides and attractions like It's a Small World or Pirates of the Caribbean or Cinderella's Wishing Well are periodically collected by Disney, and then Disney totals it all up and gives it to a charity. In the past, Disney's given to charities like Give Kids the World Village, which is a nonprofit resort that works with Make-A-Wish to provide cost-free Disney World vacations for kids battling critical illnesses along with their families. In November of 2020, Disney was able to donate $20,000 in coins from its wishing wells and fountains, and in 2022, they were able to donate $30,000. So even if your lucky penny that you're wishing upon doesn't grant you that pony or winning lotto ticket, go ahead and toss it in Disney's water anyway, because the payout is even better than you would have imagined. Disney knows how much you use your phone, even if you're not strictly using it to access the My Disney Experience account where your dining reservations and hotel key and theme park tickets and PhotoPass pictures, etc. are being held. You're more than likely using it to take pictures of Cinderella Castle or get a video of the first time your kid meets Minnie Mouse or FaceTime your Nana back home to show her what the World Showcase looks like or scroll through your social media accounts while you're waiting in line for Rock and Roller Coaster. But because you're on the phone all the time, your phone's battery is likely to deplete real quickly. Now, my best recommendation for counteracting this is by packing a portable battery and USB charging cord in your park bag ahead of time. That way, you don't have to stop what you're doing in order to juice up again. However, even if you just have your charging cord on hand and no portable battery to rely on, Disney's been making it easier and easier for guests to track down charging outlets for when they're in a bind. Charging outlets are being added onto the Disney buses, inside new counter service locations, at the hotel's business centers, as well as their coffee shops and lounges, and even inside the parks. For example, Magic Kingdom has 2 key mobile charging stations free for you to use. One is near Pete's Silly Sideshow in Fantasyland in a discreet yellow tent with plenty of seating and shade to relax in, and the other is over at the Tangled Rest area, also in Fantasyland. Just check in the stumps. These outlets are literally hiding in plain sight. If you're trying to track down a charging station or even a fuel rod kiosk to purchase or exchange a power bank you already have on hand, go into your My Disney Experience app, look at the map, tap on the little down arrow at the top of the screen to select the category, and then scroll down to the Guest Services option. Once you choose that, a bajillion different services will pop up around the map, but to find the charging stations, just look for the little battery symbol. Disney's Fort Wilderness is easy to overlook since it's kind of out in the Magic Kingdom area boonies. But if you decide that you want to visit this resort during one of your break days, I think you're going to be really surprised by just how much there is to see and do here. Along with several recreational activities and classes and outdoor tours, there's also the totally free and totally awesome brand new Tri-Circle D Ranch. Fun fact, did you know Tri-Circle D Ranch is actually older than Magic Kingdom itself? I know, AJ, you just said it was brand new. It is, they just redid the whole thing. But Walt Disney dreamed of having horses in Magic Kingdom Park, much like he did over in Disneyland, and so Tri-Circle D Ranch was established before the opening day of the resort. This ranch features a wedding harness room showcasing tack for Cinderella's ponies, a museum dedicated to Walt's love of horses, and it's also home to the Dragon Calliope, the horse-drawn musical wagon Walt Disney purchased to use in Disneyland back in the 1950s. Oh, and of course, you're going to find tons of Disney horses here too, because they're the main attraction. While exploring the barn and saying hi to the ponies is free for all guests, you can upgrade your Tri-Circle experience with premium activities like trail rides and carriage rides and wagon rides and pony rides and sleigh rides. So don't forget to save back some souvenir money for the sake of a new equestrian experience. Okay, if you're having a hard time finding a sitter for your puppy, then they can tag along with you in Disney World. Currently, there are 4 pet-friendly hotels at Disney World where your dog can stay with you. Sorry, no cats, reptiles, or other pocket pets are permitted at this time. Now, these resorts include Art of Animation, Port Orleans Riverside, Yacht Club, and the campsites and cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. Each of these hotels has special floors and sections and blocks of rooms that are pre-assigned for guests staying with pets. These specific rooms also have easy access to the outdoor pet relief areas and designated walking trails. Plus, dog-friendly Disney World resorts will provide guests and their furry companions with Pluto's welcome kit at check-in, which includes a feeding mat, bowls, plastic disposable bags, ID tag, puppy pads, dog walking mat, and a Pluto Do Not Disturb door hanger, though contents may vary. Convenient, right? But there are a few rules you need to know before packing up your pooch for the big trip. 1, there is a pet cleaning fee at these hotels, which will put you back $50 per night at Art of Animation in Port Orleans Riverside, $75 per night at Yacht Club, or $5 per night at the Fort Wilderness Campground. 2, you must provide Disney with your dog's up-to-date vaccination records. 3, you'll need to bring your own dog food since dog food isn't for sale on property. 4, only 2 dogs are permitted per room. 5, the majority of common areas at the resorts, even at the pet-friendly ones, are off limits to dogs except for service animals. And 6, only service animals are allowed inside the parks and Disney Springs area. If you're worried about leaving your 4-legged friend behind all day while you go and play around the parks, you can also choose to board him or her for the day at Best Friends Pet Care instead. That's a full-service animal care facility right there on Disney World property, and they also allow cats and other small animals to stay there too. Best Friends Pet Care services include everything from playtime for a couple of hours to overnight retreats with lots of Disney-style pampering. Now, something that Disney is continuing to improve upon year after year is their ability to adapt their restaurants, rides, shows, and other attractions to all different types of lifestyles and abilities. For those who require allergy-friendly meals, Disney has made it much easier for families to sit down and discuss options with Disney's own allergy specialists on site and choose from specific menus that cater to these particular dining requirements. Allergy information is also readily available for you to read up on at each of the quick service locations and at the Epcot Festival booths thanks to their allergy binders you can request at each location. While making advanced dining reservations, you can note any specific allergens that the kitchen and servers need to be aware of ahead of your arrival. And if you want to check out the allergy-friendly food options on the menus ahead of time, Disney-owned restaurants will have them listed online, as well as on the My Disney Experience app, and you can check those out anytime. If you or someone you're traveling with has special needs that make waiting in long queue lines difficult, Disney has a DAS or Disability Access service available for guests to make their trip less stressful and more convenient. Through DAS, guests can book attraction return times ahead of their visit from the My Disney Experience app via live chat or on-site at the guest services locations. Essentially, the DAS Pass works similarly to Genie Plus's Lightning Lanes, helping those who are unable to wait in lines for long periods of time be able to pass over them entirely. But unlike Genie Plus, the DAS system is free for guests who need it. If you're traveling with someone who'll need a wheelchair or ACV to help them navigate the park, Disney not only has these for rent up front if you need them, but several of the rides and attractions around property have been accommodated to help ACV and wheelchair users still have an enjoyable day without having to sacrifice something they really wanted to experience. Just keep in mind that not every ride is going to be able to fit a wheelchair in a specific ride vehicle. In some cases, you may have to transfer from a wheelchair into the ride itself, which cast members will be more than welcome to help you with. To read up on more of Disney's wheelchair and ACV accommodations, Disney's got a whole page about it on their website, which I'll link down for you in the description. While not everyone is thrilled by all the decisions Disney's been making recently, their ability to keep improving the park so that anyone and everyone in your family will feel welcome to participate in all the different Disney activities on site, no matter their circumstances, is a pretty big deal. All right, let's say you get caught up in the excitement of a Disney vacation and buy a Disney souvenir on site that you later think, I don't really need this and I don't want to lug it back home. Well, the good news, you don't have to. If you need to return a souvenir, you can return it to literally any Disney-owned shop in Disney World and not just the shop you bought it from. After all, if you purchase something in the Emporium over at Magic Kingdom and you're not planning on going back to Magic Kingdom for the remainder of your trip, you're going to have a hard time returning that oversized Stitch plushie to a shop you no longer have access to. So it's nice Disney makes the return process less of a headache. Also, if you decide that you do want to keep the item you've purchased, but you're still stressed about getting it home and not taking up the entirety of your suitcase in the process, you can mail souvenirs home from any Disney-owned store too. Just make sure you've got the receipt of the item on hand, or let the cast member checking out your items know that you'd like them shipped home afterwards once you finish the transaction. You'll be asked to fill out all your shipping information and pay an extra shipping fee, but after all the details have been sorted out, you'll be handed a shipping receipt with your tracking code so you can keep an eye on its delivery process until it's safe and sound on your front doorstep. Now, did you know your little one can get their very first haircut on Disney grounds right on Main Street, USA? How's that for a precious memory? Harmony Barbershop offers a special My First Haircut package that'll not only provide your baby or toddler with their first ever trim, but they'll also receive a pair of commemorative Mickey ears and a keepsake lock of hair and an official milestone certificate. Plus, the barbers here also like to wrap things up with a little bit of magic and pixie dust. But don't assume the Harmony Barbershop is just for kids. Haircuts are available for all ages, pixie dust and all. If you want to get your haircut in Magic Kingdom, Harmony Barbershop does take walk-ins, but you're probably better off getting a reservation through the My Disney Experience app before your trip. An adult haircut starts at $21, a kid's haircut starts at $20, a beard trim starts at $8, and the My First Haircut experience is going to be $28. Now it's time to talk food. Of course it is. You knew I was going to talk about food. There's no way I'd do this whole video without it. So Disney World isn't a park where you're just going to find burgers and funnel cakes and nothing else, though those are definitely available at a variety of different places. Instead, Disney recognizes that there are a ton of different dining preferences and needs among their guests, and they seek to accommodate those preferences to the best of their abilities, which is why you're going to find some of the most unique theme park dining options anywhere, right inside the Disney bubble. Their menus have items like cheese on fire at Wine Bar George, sangria flights at Three Bridges Bar and Grill in Coronado Springs, half-pound cookies at Gideon's Bakehouse, peanut butter and jelly milkshakes at 50's Primetime Cafe, a $300 sushi boat inside Epcot's newest restaurant, Cheeky Sai, and so many foods shaped like Mickey Mouse. So whether you prefer more affordable or high-end dining, adventurous flavors or familiar flavors, plates heavy on the meat or heavy on the plants, or whatever your personal preference may be, Disney's got something for everyone to enjoy. The chefs here are exceptional, and they are working really, really hard to make sure that you get something unforgettable. Now, with dozens of places to eat at Disney World, it can be really, really hard to figure out where you want to prioritize your meal and your money, which is why we've come up with that DFB guide to Walt Disney World dining. Inside, we've got reviews, full color pictures, all the most important details about every restaurant on Disney World property, and it's all in one digital download. If you want to be the proud owner of your new DFB guide today, head over to dfbstore.com, pick up your copy right now, but be sure to type in code YouTube to save money before you check out. And don't forget, there's a money back guarantee, so if it's not for you, just let us know and we'll get your money back to you immediately. Now, one last note before we head out today. Disney World is not a vacation for everyone. It can be crowded crowded and overstimulating, expensive, and very, very hot. Like very hot. But along with the downsides, Disney World is a place where you can feel taken care of and well entertained and make some epic memories with your friends and family. And that's worth a lot in a world that can be dark and dreary at times. And that's kind of why we wanted to make this video today. Get some positivity out there, remind people of the little things that can make your Disney vacation even more special than you ever thought. So whether you decide to book a Disney trip for the near future or not, keep tuning back here with us so you can continue learning how to make your upcoming vacation the best it can be. Don't forget to head over to disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyPlans for your 100% free Disney World planning worksheets. You can use them whether you're going next week or next year or in 10 years. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.